Great programs when I was coming up many moons ago. Great football being played at Dixie College back in the day.
Just a few years ago.
To see the evolution. Yeah, don't age me there, young fella.
I'm not going to. As we're underway, final game of the night. One more quarterfinal spot up for grabs. As we take a look at our starting lineups, brought to you by Abilene Regional Airport. Book your next flight today at iflyabi.com. And Frank Stain wasting no time for Utah Tech. We'll first look at SFA. Nigel Hawkins joined by Derek Tizano, who gets another start, his 9th of the year. And a nice answer as well with Latrell Jassel and Jaleel Bobrun getting his 5th start of the season. Rounds out the starting 5 along the SFA sidewall for Utah Tech. We've already mentioned Cameron Gooden and Isaiah Pope. Also Jacob Nichols, Tanner Christensen, and Frank Stain, who already scored into the starting lineup. A.J. Kajust also in that starting 5. He was defending the ball a moment ago. Christensen trying to follow up the miss, but instead here comes Hawkins racing forward.
Good challenge on the defense there.
Kajust swims through a double team on the drive. Tizano. No, they're going to wave it off as he draws contact. So second meeting of the season between the two teams. SFA put up 85 set on Utah Tech in the first meeting. As we get another look at that foul, it was 85-72 Lumberjacks in St. George, Utah back on January the 12th.
I'm sure for Coach Judkins, he wants to come out and set a tone defensively to make sure that doesn't happen. And I think that's all effort and assignment and communication with each other.
On the drive and kick, yeah, those points, the most home points allowed all year against the, at least in the D1 era even for Utah Tech, going back a couple seasons. On the spin, finish, halfway down and out as it won't drop for Nichols. And Stephen F. Austin comes forward after a mega disappointing end of last year. They'd won 10 straight regular season games to finish the year, then go out in round 1 of the WAC tournament, lose round 1 of the CBI. Latrell Jassel drives and hits.
Good work down low with the screen by Beerbraun. Cleared the path for Jassel.
On the skip pass, deflected, allows Pope to collect. Utah Tech at 13-18, won just 5 conference games, but 2 of them came right down the stretch. Stain, 5 on the shot clock. Tough turnaround. No, but Christensen's there to reset. And then Bobrun bumps into Isaiah Pope. Let's send it over to the third member of our team, Kendra Sheehan, who joins us for the first time. Kendra?
Hey, Ben, last time these two teams met in the regular season, Utah Tech was without their leading scorer, Cameron Gooden. And when I talked to head coach John Gruden before the game, he said, Gooden is not going to be enough. We need everybody else to step up as well. Frank Stain, he said, we believe we have the advantage in size. He's referring to Tanner Christensen. He says if he can post up and make disruptions down low, we can cause some damage there. On the other hand, head coach Kyle Keller for SFA spoke about the numerous injuries this team has faced. He said, this is a resilient group. We're on our 15th starting lineup, and he said these guys are going to go out there and give it their all. Ben?
Thanks, Kendra. And you bring in a guy like Tanner Christensen, 4th in the conference in rebounds, leads the team in blocks, and able to set up a teammate there. Cameron Gooden, our first look at the 5th-year senior from Frisco, Texas. How about this finish with contact, said?
With contact and just concentrate. Great pick right there, but he challenged the defender. Day Hall completes the 3.
It has been a long road for Cameron Gooden to finally get to postseason basketball. Born in Louisiana, moves to Texas for high school, goes to prep school in Connecticut, then JUCO in Texas, then to St. George, Utah, and Utah Tech. Finally, after all that, now in his 3rd year with the program, gets to play postseason basketball. We'll see a lot of Gooden tonight. Wears that number 3 in red with that white sleeve down his right elbow. He guards A.J. Kajust. Kajust dribbled that off his foot. Nice dive and the hustle. Here comes Gooden. Big slam. Quick trigger 3, short on the other end for Jassel. Well, how about the high flag start for both teams, said, going up and down. And a foul called. A little grab on the interior. You can just tell the emotion right out of the gates.
Yeah,
Each team wanting to make a statement.
Hustle play right there, getting on the floor. Gets it out, and look at the hops by Cam Gooden. Whew. With authority.
Nigel Hawkins called for the foul just a second ago. So Rati Ware checks in for the first time. Even though Stephen F. Austin has Day Hall in tonight, they're still without Jalen Jackson-Posey, who was the sixth man of the year in the WAC last year, and Nana Antua Boisiako, who started 29 games for the team. And that lack of defensive presence, you can already feel it inside. As Utah Tech gets the layup with Jacob Nichols, it leads us into our keys to the game, brought to you by Geico, saving you money on your car insurance for over 85 years, Seth.
Yeah, for SFA, share the ball and control the paint. Extra passes here and there. Then for Utah Tech, handle the pressure from SFA and intense effort. If you want to move on, if you're an 11 seed, you've got to have intense effort all night long.
That foul just called as it will end up going on Nichols, his first. 3 team fouls early on SFA, 2 on Utah Tech. Just underway, it's a 7-0 run for the Trailblazers after going down 4-2. And you see Hall playing with that big brace on his left shoulder, that number 3 in white. Foul called with 7 on the shot clock. Kind of this chippy feel early set, a lot of whistles, so much emotion, sort of nervous energy is kind of how it feels.
Kind of nothing like we're not used to, right? The first game exactly the same way. It's tournament play, it's final. You lose here, it's over.
Here's Day Hall. Sets the screen for his teammate Hawkins. And they get it to Hall, shooting 60% from the field. Nice pass. 3 on the way. Heyman knocks it down. Matt Heyman with the triple.
That's a great look by Day Hall. A crisp pass right in the pocket, so Matt Hall's able to catch and let it rip.
Gooden, good start already. A little strong on the mid-range. Tipped a couple of times. Look at Stain clean up the glass. How about the bigs underneath you early for Utah Tech, man?
Frank Stain, that's just an effort play. Just stand after it. Quick off the hop. I mean, it got up and down so quick.
Hall steps out. First release for him, and it's way off the mark. Missed the last 2 games of the regular season, did Day Hall. He's back. As Christensen pulls up for 3, short, and Hawkins gets the board. That'll be very interesting to watch, to see how Hall works himself into the game after not playing for a couple weeks. Heyman, nice move, can't finish.
Well, use that left hand, you're right there next to the rim. Just soft touch with the left hand. Good move to get there, but you got to finish.
Utah Tech finishing the year red hot on the offensive end, 93 points against Seattle a couple of games ago, tied for the most points in the WAC era for them. As Gooden skips through a deflection and out of play. Hot start for the Trailblazers. 5 early points for Cameron Gooden as we're just underway. It's Utah Tech 11, Stephen F. Austin 7 underway in our final game of the night from Mandalay Bay in the Michelob Ultra. A good start for the Utah Tech Trailblazers in their first ever D1 postseason game. 11-7 lead on top of Stephen F. Austin. To look at the bench led by 18th year head coach John Judkins, 6-time Division II Conference Coach of the Year in the Pac-West Conference. And pretty wild, said, to think about when he took over Utah Tech. They were in their final year as a JUCO back at old Dixie Junior College, transitioned them into Division II, now into Division I, and through a name change, new mascot, all that in nearly 2 decades. The all-time winningest coach in Utah college basketball history, over 600 combined wins.
That is incredible. And being dedicated to the community in St. George there, it's an incredible tenure.
He played at what was then Dixie State back in 1984, a couple years after they won a JUCO national title. As it's lobbed inside, Christensen can't finish with 2 on the clock. Actually, they won the next year right after he graduated in 85, so he was part of a really good group of JUCO teams. And his team's off to a good start. What are you noticing early on this offensive side when Gooden and the Trailblazers have the ball?
Well, they're just being aggressive. They're making good decisions, getting good looks. They've just got to continue to try to finish.
Nice deflection, though. A.J. Kajust, walk-in layup. 5th in the conference in steals at 45 on the year. He can burn you if you get lazy on the passing lanes.
Well, lazy and blind, right? You're throwing a blind pass into a gap where you know there's a solid defender there.
Jump ball called. Back-to-back possessions, a little bit scattered for Utah Tech as SFA gets the takeaway, and that is the one thing SFA excels at, force over 18 turnovers a game.
Well, they catch Cam Gooden trying to split the defense, and with a defense like this, quick hands, fast hands, pull yourself out, and you've got to get help. Someone's got to come up to get that ball from you. But you can't try and split.
Lumberjacks started so well. We're 5-0 to begin WAC play, finished just 6-7, and lost by 44 in the regular season finale at Utah Valley. Kajust, nice kick. Ware for 3. Little strong. Over the backboard by Heyman, just snatched it away, but it's taken right back. And here come the Trailblazers. Noah Gonsalves, the setup. Gooden in and out for 3. And fumbled out of bounds right off the knee of Trey Edmonds, who's just checked in. Back to Stephen F. Austin. So, look, final game of the year, said you lose by 44. Most points they'd ever allowed in the Kyle Keller head coaching era. Gave up 113 to Utah Valley. How do you even start to respond? You just burn the tape, I guess, move on to WAC Vegas?
You have to, right? But you look at all the players they were without in that game, so they've been
walking
undermanned,
wounded for sure.
Really,
yeah.
So just trying to finish and maybe try to do one thing well in that game when you know you're getting blown out. But new day, new opportunity in the tournament here.
Tizano a little strong. Again, Lumberjacks get back Day Hall. Without him, they were outscored by a combined 49 points and scored an average of 12 points per game, less than their season average of about 76.
Well, more than his points. It's just the leadership and the guidance that a vet player brings. Cam Gooden, beautiful.
Cameron Gooden, who reached the 1,000-point career threshold a little bit earlier this year at 1,051 entering tonight. 13-9 Utah Tech as Gooden has an early 7. On the pull-up, a little short by Ware, and a bunch of bodies hit the deck. They call that on Utah Tech. Tizano fired up. There's a couple of guys just getting tangled up. Dancel Leader, who's just checked in, the senior, is calling for the personal.
Sure was. It's like a bunch of bowling pins. I mean, they could have called foul on either team. As you see, coming over the top for the Lumberjacks was Bobron.
Quick kick into Jossel. Nice kick out. 3 off the mark. Hall can't get the board after Hawkins misses the 3. Isaiah Pope with nothing called. Officials let him play early, and another deflection. You think about, for Stephen F. Austin, such a good turnover margin team. They've forced 3 already as we hit a break. We expect that to be a big storyline. We'll tell you more about the disparity between SFA when they have the ball versus on defense. When we come back, it's an early 4-point lead for Utah Tech, 13-9 Trailblazers.
citywide to countryside. Whatever you drive, wherever you go. Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading protection to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
Great seats at a great price. Get them safer, simpler, and smarter with Ticket Smarter. A proud partner to the biggest names in live sports and events, including ESPN events and iHeartRadio. Ticket Smarter has seats for over 125,000 live events and 48 million tickets for sale. All backed with the Ticket Smarter 100% ticket guarantee. Thinking about your next great live event? Think smarter. Think Ticket Smarter. Get your tickets your way, guaranteed at Ticketsmarter.com.
Fly Provo and experience travel convenience. With new destinations continually being added, Provo Airport is becoming a travel alternative for those wanting all the conveniences of a large airport minus the hassle. Within minutes, you could be exploring Utah's great outdoors or flying across the country. Looking for your next trip? Come fly with us. Provo Airport welcomes you home.
Back in Las Vegas with a look at seventh-year head coach Kyle Keller leading the Stephen F. Austin Lumberjacks. Had that magical 2020 said when they won 28 games and went 19-1 in the Southland. You see what he has done in a very impressive career already, even in his seventh year.
And I just love the style of play. And, you know, in the earlier broadcast, we talked about the Texas schools bringing that tough, hard-nosed edge defensive style play. And that's exactly what the Lumberjacks do as well under Coach Keller.
They're looking to get back to the NCAA tournament for the first time in 2018. They were a big favorite to come out of the Southland as this three is drilled by Noah Consalves. Early 7-point lead for Utah Tech. So SFA, that they felt a little bit snake-bit. COVID ended their season in 2020. We're projected to go into the tournament. Coach Keller trying to get the Lumberjacks back. Year two now in the WAC, but Hawkins has it taken away. Here's Gonsalves. Tries to lay it off, but great transition D by Hawkins. Hall in his first game back from injury leaves it off for A.J. Cajuste. Cajuste partially blocked, picked up by Pope. And the defense, it's like one after another from both sides. Great plays on each end. Nice pass, wide open slam. Trey Edmonds all alone.
Trey Edmonds from G-Dub High School in Denver, Colorado. They've got some size, athleticism.
On the lob, over the head of Hall. So as much as SFA is a great team defensively at forcing turnovers, they're ninth in the country. They're also 344th out of the 364 D1 teams in their own offensive turnover percentage. It's just bizarre to watch a team so good on one end and so bad at the same thing on the other.
Well, I think the problem is they have to try to find ways to score, and sometimes that leads you to do too much.
It's Pope on the drive. It is all Utah Tech right now, but Pope can't hit, and it will stay. Trailblazer ball, late foul called on the interior as Cajuste gets called for the personal, trying to box out Trey Edmonds.
I think they're going to call a flop.
And that's a new rule in this current season. We've seen it enforced throughout the regular year. Now there's no more flop warning. It's just the automatic technical.
So he actually makes contact with the shooter and then goes backwards. I mean, that's a good call.
Our officials tonight, John Stigliano. You see him right there in front of the scorers table. Wilson Holland and Jeff Malham. as Pope makes the free throw. And the conclusion at the end of last year by the NCAA Rules Committee was that those warnings were really not doing anything to deter teams. They were just using them as an opportunity to get warned more than anything. So they started that this year, going with the auto tech, and officials feel like that's helped clean things up. You see fewer and fewer flops.
I think it has, and it's still up to the official's discretion if he's going to call it. But that last flop definitely warranted.
8-0 run for Utah Tech. Big 10-point lead to start out. There's Day Hall, yet to get on track. Passes up top. Jossel, high, teardrop, no. Tipped around and controlled. It's Frank Stain. Gooden, quick trigger three. Little short. A 41% three-point shooter for Gooden, but not that time.
Yeah, it's a good look, great opportunity. Wasn't able to knock it down. And right now, Day is looking to facilitate, not score.
Justo can't hit. Reset as it's back up top. Jossel, nice no-look find. Underneath, yes. Robbie Armbruster brought in off the bench as Kyle Keller just looking for some sort of spark with his team down early.
Really good pass. Armbruster with the nice jump hook and finish. A much-needed hoop for the Lumberjacks.
Here's where the Lumberjacks get into their preferred defensive set, getting into some trap looks. Staying on the spin. There's the 6'10" Trey Edmonds. On the dribble drive, 2 on the clock. Not there on the finish. As Leader couldn't connect right in front of the rim, and then a foul called. It goes on Utah Tech, back to the Lumberjacks.
It's a good drive. Wasn't able to pay it off with the finish, but good minutes by Trey Edmonds. Ends up wrong place at the wrong time there to pick up that foul.
Still yet to get a point out of Day Hall. First game back from injury for Stephen F. Austin as they try to work their way back. 8-point deficit as it's almost accidentally saved by Utah Tech right to an awaiting Derek Tizano.
What's the rule?
You never do
under
that under your own basket, said.
Ever.
Unless you just know that your foot's going to land out of bounds a tenth of a second before, in which case it's definitely okay. Foul called before the inbounds. So that's been the one thing plaguing Utah Tech. That's
2 on 10.
6th foul already, so SFA will be in the bonus on the next whistle.
It's 2 on Christensen already as well. They have a ton of size that they can go to, but
they really count on him underneath, though. Leads the team in blocks, 4th in the conference, over 7 rebounds a game. Just the 3rd all-time meeting. SFA 2-0 in the series as the mid-range is in and out. Not there for Cajuste. And SFA ice cold, 1 of their last 9 from the field.
you cannot pick the ball up because they have busy hands, active hands.
Little two-man game. Christensen, nice feed. Utah Tech
Look
looking
at
for the
recover,
extra pass, but it's picked off.
The recovery defensively.
Tizano all the way and one. Defense leading to offense, said spot on. It's what the Lumberjacks love to do.
Great recovery defensively and jump in the lane. I mean, in unison, working together, and Tizano hard to the rim. There's the bump, the left-hand finish. Beautiful play. SFA
A great start for Utah Tech and fifth-year senior Cameron Gooden as we welcome you back to Las Vegas with more on Gooden and the Trailblazers. Here's our Kendra Sheehan.
The motor behind this Utah Tech offense, and he actually suffered a lower leg injury towards the start of WAC play that left him sidelined for 4 weeks. And when I spoke with head coach John Gruden, he said that he actually was able to come back a little bit sooner than expected, saying that the rehab process went well. When he was out, the Trailblazers went on a 5-game losing skid. And when I talked to him about Gooden prior to this game, he said he's still not 100%. But he said, look, Gooden's a competitor. He's a senior. He wants to get out there. They need him. It's now or never. It's the postseason. Ben?
And no doubt, Kendra, he's been so clutch all year. 5th in the conference, points per game. Just named 2nd team all WAC after being an honorable mention selection a couple years ago. His team leads by 6. Derek Tizano able to cash in on the and one. So there's a good look at Gooden, that number 3 in red from Frisco, Texas, and has shown a lot of resilience too. Had a great junior year. Numbers were down a little bit last year, but he's had a big 5th-year senior season. Starts the nice ball movement, but a pass taken away. Jossel in the passing lane. Jossel, no! And an over-the-back foul. It goes on SFA and Robbie Armbruster.
It's a good call. And again, you can't say enough good things about the rotational defense. Just when you think you have a guy to get the ball out to, they rotate, they're in the right spots quickly and take it away from you.
And you could see why this could be a troubling matchup for Utah Tech from their coaching staff perspective. Average 15 turnovers a game, 3rd worst in the conference, and you go against this elite takeaway defense in SFA, which is top 10 in the country. Pope, tough finish. Knocked out of bounds, stays with the Trailblazers, and already said 6 turnovers for Utah Tech, which have led to 5 SFA points.
Well, they've survived it to this point, right? Because they're just at times outworking the Thunderbirds. They just have to take care of the ball. They can't give it away.
A lot of similar plays like that where it's that drive-in kick, and a lot of times you see those players stuck in the air. As Gooden is a little short on the 3. Edmonds tries to rip it away. We get a jump ball, and it will stay with Utah Tech.
The problem is when you drive and you get turned away and you go to turn around or you stop, I mean, it's a swarm. So you have to have a better plan. When you get down low, either get the ball up to the rim, shoot it, but you can't stop because once you do, that defense converges on you.
See Day Hall back into the game for SFA. Quick trigger on the corner 3, around and out. Good look for Pope, but can't hit. And SFA can do what they love. Push up floor, Jossel with the finish.
Great run out by Latrell Jossel. Jossel gets down court and beats the defense down. That's just a lapse of concentration.
Another quick 3, Stain off the mark. 7-0 run for SFA. Jossel double teamed the near corner. And able to release to Kajust. Kajust stuck in the air, underneath, little bounce pass, somehow finds Hall. I don't know how Derek Tizano made that pass, but he somehow did.
Almost one too many passes down inside the lane.
9-0 run for Stephen F. Austin as they've worked it to a 1-point game. Here's Pope, works his way into the paint for Utah Tech. Another one of those high lob passes. Down to 4 on the clock. Cameron Gooden. Can he create space? No, it's a jump ball with 1 on the shot clock. Arrow gives it back to SFA.
That's a tremendous effort by Kajust. Just gets his hand, he keeps his body directly in front, moves his feet. I mean, this is tremendous defense.
And that's what it can lead to, right?
Absolutely. You see the look out to Jossel. And just being patient.
Yeah, when you watch the film of SFA, it said compared to when we're watching him now in person, how much more impressive is that actual real all-time speed of theirs defensively. Seems like it's so stark when you watch it in person, like closing out on those lob passes.
But you look at gaps, you see defenders in spots, and all of a sudden it's an opening and it's closed, just like that. It's so quick, and they rotate and work together so well.
Jossel Shorts. SFA has struggled at times outside the top 150 on offense, so they try to make up for that with a tight defense. Lumberjacks go to work here, forcing another pass out to midcourt. Meanwhile, Utah Tech, a much better offensive team than defensive. They're outside the top 200 in overall Ken Pomeroy efficiency defense. Pope pull up three. Not there as Kajus got bumped. Edmonds just couldn't control his body as he barrels into Kajus, and that's 2 fouls on Edmonds.
He is a big man, Trey Edmonds, 6'10", 250.
That means a free throw for A.J. Kajust. SFA, not only have they gone on a 9-0 run, they've done it over 4.5 minutes, holding Utah Tech without a point in that span. A.J. Kajust, a big reason why, who was a JUCO All-American last year for Indian River State College in Florida, from Boca Raton. Now goes to Nacogdoches, Texas for head coach Kyle Keller and Stephen F. Austin. In and out on the front end, but knocked out of bounds by Utah Tech. They can't believe it.
I mean,
unless there's a quick correction on the floor, they'll not be able to look at this.
Bobrun was over the back and poked the ball out of bounds. That's a tough one.
Yeah, no way to review when you're at the 4:54 mark of the first half. SFA gets another chance. Day Hall, very quiet so far. Has only tried 2 shots, 1 of 2 from the field, 2 points for the Lumberjacks' leading scorer. And Hall sets that screen for Matt Heyman. Underneath, Bobrun gets the finish. Nice touch for the junior D2 transfer, Jaleel Bobrun.
Good power dribble, uses his size and strength. Look at everyone's show. I mean, the show on help.
But the answer, much needed 3 for Frank Stain. That ends an 11-0 SFA run as we go back and forth. And another foul going on Utah Tech. Been a frustrating 5-minute stretch overall for the Trailblazers.
Oh, they're going to get
Leader
he's
second.
right. I mean, he's in good position, but reaches over the top to try to poke it out. And right now it feels like for Coach Judkins, every call seems to be going the way of the Lumberjacks.
Puts Day Hall at the line, who was second in the WAC last year in field goal shooting at 58%. Went out and bettered that mark by a couple of ticks this year, 60% from the field. It's a big reason why SFA is the best field goal shooting team in the conference.
Well, I think that just speaks to his level of intelligence. Taking good shots and doesn't hurt when you can shoot it.
No doubt. Nichols has it taken away, but a foul.
But see, that situation right there, be decisive, Nichols. Be decisive. You turn, you go down, there's a man there, take the short jumper or kick it quickly. You stop your tracks, help's coming.
As we step aside, 13-3 run for SFA to tie us up at 22. Under 4 to go in the first half.
In order to know where you're going, it helps to know where you've been. Introducing the Embraer 175. At Abilene Regional Airport, now you can look forward to the journey, not just the destination. Come fly with us. Abilene Regional Airport.
Citywide to countryside. Whatever you drive, wherever you go. Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading protection to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
Back in Las Vegas with 3:58 to go in the first half. Similar to the first game of this night session set, it's truly been a game of runs. Utah Tech getting off to an early 19-9 lead, but Stephen F. Austin, after two really disappointing losses to finish the regular season, they've come back with a vengeance. 13-3 run over the last 5 minutes, really starting with the defense.
Yeah, held Utah Tech to one of its last 8 from the floor. Just playing hard defense.
Can't close out, though, on the quick trigger jumper. Denzel Leader out of the timeout. As it's knocked out of bounds, stay was with Stephen F. Austin. Both teams have shown tremendous shooting ability in different areas. You have Utah Tech, a top 25 three-point shooting team in the country, while SFA is the best field goal shooting team in the conference. And even though they don't take a ton of threes, they're still 13th in the country in overall three-point percentage. See if that starts to unload it down the stretch after the two teams combined for nearly 160 points in the first meeting. Foul taken. That, though, has been really the story set. More of the lockdown defense, kind of chippy start and stop play, how the flow has really prevented both offenses from getting into a great rhythm.
Well, when you force the officials to blow the whistle with all the fouls, I mean, it's hard for anybody to get into a rhythm. Good news for Utah Tech is that the clock has stopped.
And Stephen F. Austin
you
in the
still
double
got to go make the free
yeah.
throws. So,
however, Denzel Leader, you see him, that 14 in red heading to the bench. Third personal foul for Leader.
Hawkins off to a slow start offensively.
Misses both. Normally a strength of his game, 79% foul shooter Nigel Hawkins. Coming off a 20-point game. He was the one bright spot in that 44-point blowout loss last weekend to Utah Valley. Pope, on the step through, can't finish. And heads to the line. Plays longer than 6'5", doesn't he, Seth?
He does, and I think the Euro step there, the step through. I mean, that was solid defense all the way up until the last moment by Nigel Hawkins.
Pope proves that you can start at the D2 level and emerge into a really, really good D1 player. Started at Humboldt State in California, was the conference freshman of the year, then transfers to St. George, Utah, and Utah Tech right as they're transitioning into the D1 game. Now his third year. First year, though, was a full starter. Perfect at the line for Pope, best free throw shooter on the team, as it's back to a 4-point Utah Tech lead. First time we've seen the zone look from Utah Tech. Inside, outside. Jossel on the drive by Kajust. Nice no-look feed. 5 on the clock. Where? Oh, he missed the bunny, but a foul after Hall picks up the miss. Good recognition by Day Hall to bail out his teammate.
I thought Ware was about to tear the rim off.
I think everybody was expecting that.
He didn't feel. I don't think he thought he was going to get to the rim all the way, and just kind of leaves it short. That's a good foul. Don't give up a free one.
Now Hall with a nice stroke, who started his career at East Tennessee State, came in mid-year after the fall semester at a prep school, but only played in 4 games that year. Went back to his home state from Sulphur Springs, Texas. Comes to Nacogdoches, which is about 2 hours, 45 minutes due east of Waco and a couple hours west of Shreveport, Louisiana. Now, Hall's been a very nice piece. Even though he's only started one game on the season coming in, still a second-team all-conference performer. His free throws make it a 2-point game as we go down the final stretch of the first half. Winner to take on Southern Utah Thursday night in the quarterfinals. 4 on the shot clock for Stain. Jump stop, got it! Big
Tough
bucket,
shot.
Frank Stain.
Tough shot.
After that rough spell where Utah Tech was 1 of 9 from the field, they've hit their last 3 as we cross the 2-minute mark of the first half. Hall puts it on the deck. Nice find. Where the drive, stuck in the paint. 4 on the shot clock. Where has to go. Pull up 3. Not there, and a foul called. They get. Is that Hall? I believe it is. Yes, Day Hall called for the foul, fighting for position. His second, and that sends Utah Tech to the line for a 1-and-1. So you see Stain get a nice hand, heading to the bench, and Isaiah Pope back at the line, whose dad Tony played at both Long Beach and Seattle in his career. Another look at that bucket by Stain as Pope makes the N1. The front end, I should say, of the 1-and-1. And that, that's what, for Utah Tech, you talk so much about Cameron Gooden as this do-it-all scorer and distributor, but to have a guy like Isaiah Pope step up, that's what this Utah Tech team feels like. If they can get that from 1 or 2 other guys, like a Pope and a Stain, they can make a run here at Black Vegas.
I think with their size, and if those other guys can stay on that level, stay on the level they're on right now, because they're doing an excellent job tonight.
Little underhand bounce pass. What a strong move. Armbruster had to catch that as his ankle and makes the swim move to score.
Tremendous soft hands right there, but how about the feed? Almost like a bowling ball, one bounce pass.
Cameron Gooden goes back to work. Wow, caught in the air and draws contact. And Cameron Gooden took a really hard fall. He's slow to get up going into that basket support, and will be helped up by a couple teammates. Looks that he's all right, which is good to see. He'll get a couple extra seconds to walk that off, like Kender had told us earlier, said how he has battled injury throughout his career. Earlier this season, in fact, but as a fifth-year senior, you're not going to give up this opportunity.
No, and here's the thing, like it does hurt, but most of these guys are wearing combat gear underneath their shorts, and that's padded, girdles underneath their shorts, because they give it up. They go so hard. You want to be able to get to the floor, get on the floor without hurting yourself.
Gooden 1 for 2 at the line, 8 points in the first half. The unsung star for Utah Tech has been Frank Stain, 9 points for the Trailblazers. He's on the bench now as we're into the final minute of the first half. Armbruster's been solid off the bench for Stephen F. Austin. Couple buckets in the interior. Little floater. Oh, yeah.
That's a nice shot.
He has the postseason pedigree. Played for the Houston Cougars, was a reserve last year on a team that made a Final Four run. 3-point game as Trayvon Snoddy comes in. Nice kick. 3 around and out from the corner for Gonsalves. And a chance for Stephen F. Austin to hold for 1. They elect to take their timeout here with 24.4 to go in the first half, as head coach Kyle Keller will draw up a play in this 3-point game. And you have a guy in Coach Keller who has coached for some of the big guns as an assistant. Eddie Sutton at Oklahoma State, Bill Self at Kansas, Billy Kennedy at Texas A&M. Now in his 7th year at Stephen F. Austin. And you get the sense that for as hot as SFA was coming into last year's tournament, they have so much motivation after it went all wrong in that first round loss to Abilene Christian last year.
They do, and that's something you get a full year to think about, right? And although the season hasn't gone exactly how they wanted, they found themselves back here again, right? In the same venue, a chance to redeem themselves and try and move forward. They've run into a buzzsaw here right now. Utah Tech they don't know where they are. They're just playing. They're playing ball, and they're doing a great job of doing so. Getting a chance to see some of their great attributes. They've got size. They've got some good skill set from a lot of guys that can provide points. Tough matchup.
Yeah, Utah Tech has held SFA to just 1 of 7 from 3. Big reason why the Trailblazers have led most of the way as the first half comes to the end. AJ Kajus with 5 to go. Lumberjacks down 3. Kajus, tough finish, knocked away. 1 second left. Armbreaster can't get a shot off. Utah Tech in their Division I postseason debut able to keep SFA at arm's length and survive a late first half surge as they take a 31-28 lead into the locker room, the men's and women's side. Utah Tech and Stephen F. Austin, final game of the night from WAC Vegas. Thanks for staying up late, hanging out with us wherever you are, past midnight on the East Coast. We're near 10 o'clock here in Las Vegas, the home for college basketball this week. 5 different conference tournaments going on as Utah Tech misses a 3 out of the gates. Stain misses, Pope a chance, and that's an air ball from beyond the arc. The winner of this one faces third-seeded Southern Utah Thursday night in the final quarterfinal. And said it's interesting that Utah Tech, they have this lead despite going just 2 of 12 from 3, and that's now 6 of 30 combined for Utah Tech over their last 3 halves, essentially.
They've had more success getting to the rim and attacking downhill, and I think that's how you have to play it. Can't settle for jumpers.
Meanwhile, Tizano off the mark on the interior. Back with Sed Bonner, I'm Ben Wilson. We'll bring in Kendra Sheen in just a moment, and we get a jump ball.
It's a great call.
Good early defense ball going back to Stephen F. Austin. Let's welcome in Kendra, who spoke with both coaches at the half.
Yeah, I got a chance to talk to head coach Kyle Keller for Stephen F. Austin. He said he thought the Lumberjacks played slow this entire half. He gave credit to Utah Tech for disrupting them, making them uncomfortable, forcing them to be out of rhythm. So we got to get the ball inside more points in the paint. He said we're not a good three-point shooting team, but we got to be better than 1 for 7 on the floor. Ben?
Yeah, no doubt, Kendra, with his team struggling for consistent buckets, they're trying a super deep 3. That's off the mark, leading to a frustration foul on the other end. And that happened on a few too many occasions for head coach Kyle Keller's liking in the first half. That's now 1 for 8 from the 3.
I tell you, that's plenty time on the shot clock. No reason to jack that shot up. That's like I've made 6 in a row, a heat check shot right there.
You look
and
at the
as you
Stars,
can see from the stats.
No, not the case.
Not the case.
SFA, the Stars, Day Hall, first game back after missing 2 with injury. 6 points, just 1 field goal make. It's the defense, though, for SFA that's kept them in the game. Top 10 defense in the country as it relates to forcing turnovers. And they nearly get another one knocked out of bounds off that lob toward Christensen. Tanner Christensen starts this half playing with 2 fouls for Utah Tech. That'll be the big issue for the Trailblazers. 3 players with 2 fouls, and Dancel Leader playing with 3 as he comes off the bench. Quick trigger 3. Nice pass, but short on that triple after Stain had a nice look.
They haul up quick before Christensen can get up and get to that rebound. He's not really looking for his offense. I wonder if his injury has anything to do with it, but he's not looking for his offense. He's trying to facilitate and get others involved.
Now Hall, you see him in that number 3 in white, playing with a big black shoulder brace on his left shoulder. Missed the previous 2 games. And that team really struggled in his absence. The 6'5" redshirt sophomore who leads the conference in field goal percentage, 7th in rebounding. A guy who can do it all for SFA and does it really efficiently on an offense that can sometimes struggle with that. Outside the top 150 in total offensive efficiency. There's Tizano, 1 on the clock, brick on the turnaround. Now more of the same out of the gates for SFA, now down to 35% from the field.
Tell you what, with that angle, use the square. It gives you a chance at a rebound.
It definitely doesn't have the same feel as when these teams met in St. George on January 12th when SFA put up 85 in Utah Tech's home building in a 13-point win. Christensen drawing contact inside. As SFA started WAC play 5-0, finished just 6-7, and Utah Tech, after a rough start, did win 2 of their final 4 games and just appears to be playing with more confidence, like they've been kind of building up for this moment.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. And I think being connected defensively, putting forth maximum effort.
Oh, offensive foul before the inbounds. That's on Christensen, his third. Yeah, first postseason game as a D1 school, Utah Tech.
That's 2 tough fouls on a big man. Setting picks, just get still. If your offensive player doesn't rub off the right way, that's not on you. You got to be still, though. Can't waste fouls there. You'd rather see them waste them on defense, rebounding.
Another 3-point miss for SFA. Jossel, but Hall gets the board. Kajust on the lob. They throw it down. Nice alley-oop, Armbruster.
He continues his hot play. 8 off the bench.
Cameron Gooden. Beautiful move. Got it, and a foul. There's the finish for Gooden. You knew he'd come to play. Now has 10 points, and they are going to review the end of that play as Armbruster came up holding his mouth. Looked like he took a shot to the face. Kyle Keller asking for a review from John Stigliano and the rest of our officiating team. Going to see if there was maybe a stray arm or elbow thrown in there. Said not that we saw one in real time, but that's what they're going to look at after Armbruster came away holding his mouth.
Right there.
Oh, that's what it was on the setup by Christensen.
See, it looks like there's no contact, but Kajust was riding him all the way to that point of separation. I think it's going to be an inadvertent whistle or an inadvertent call right here, or elbow, excuse me. There wasn't any malice to it. He's just trying to frame up to get a spot.
Christensen has 4 inches on Armbruster as well. The 6'10" sophomore.
He's a big dude. If I just put my hands up, they're going to be right around that level. There was nothing malice about that play. That's going to be.
You see the Utah Tech fans, the cheerleaders, certainly enjoying their first trip to Las Vegas as part of their D1 postseason basketball. It's been a bit of a bumpy ride, 3 separate 3-game losing streaks or more in WAC play, but the Trailblazers, they feel like they're playing really good ball heading in right now, and we're about to get our explanation.
We've looked at some contact in the lane. We deemed it as a normal basketball play. We have an and one here.
All right, so normal basketball play, nothing in that last review. Thanks to the officiating team for explaining that to us once again with John Stigliano, Wilson Holland, and Jeff Malham, the crew tonight. Probably the right call. Wasn't much in that, and it will be just the standard and one.
And thought the explanation we gave was perfect. You got a 4-inch height advantage, and you post up. Your hands are up in the air. Elbow wasn't thrown. Christensen was just posting.
And John Judkins happy with that explanation. Coach Judkins, who started out at Dixie JUCO, then went to Utah State, played in the NCAA tournament in 1988 as a 5th-year senior. You see Coach Judkins right at the top of your screen walking into frame as Gooden gets the and one free throw. 11 for Gooden in his first postseason game. Has waited till being a 5th-year senior. Making the most of his moment. Utah Tech up 4 as we start the second half. Have led for all but about a minute tonight. Nigel Hawkins on the pull-up. No, tipped around. Hall can't beat Christensen to the ball.
It's good effort on the glass by Hall. But the Lumberjacks are in one of their droughts, looking for buckets. Just 2 in the second half.
But a takeaway, 3-on-1. Jossel fouled despite the block at the rim. Met right there by Frank Stain, who tried to challenge Jossel but loses out. That's the one way Stephen F. Austin has consistently this year been able to turn the table in games, use their elite defense, top 10 in forcing turnovers. As Jossel heads to the line, who started at Kansas, was a seldom used sub for head coach Bill Self, who Kyle Keller used to coach for at KU. So Coach Self, knowing Jossel wanted more playing time, set up one of his understudies in Kyle Keller with Latrell, the Chicago native, now in his second year, back-to-back seasons as a full-time starter for SFA.
Yeah, just a sophomore. And tell you what, a real leader for this team. 11 points a game and a stellar defensive player.
SFA looking for leaders to step up. Jossel with 6 with a couple of key pieces, Jalen Jackson-Posey and Nana Antwi-Boa-Siako, both out tonight. Jacob Nichols for Utah Tech. Nice power move, draws contact. It's a foul on Hall, his third.
Yeah, how much easier it is to just get in the lane, right? And force the officials to not make a call, right? Instead of jacking up threes, that's a nice job. Nice play by Nichols. Backs down the smaller player and forces the call.
And now Kyle Keller has to figure out, with a shorthanded bench, already a lack of size that's reliable for him, what to do. He'll trust his vet, Day Hall. Technically a redshirt sophomore, but he's been around for a couple years in the program. 1 of 2 at the line for Nichols. Hall quickly doubled. Back out. Jossel for 3. Just short. The struggles continue. SFA now 1 of 10, the second best three-point shooting team in the conference. So they look to ratchet up the defense and force a turnover. That's 11 tonight for Utah Tech. And it's why there is still so much basketball to be played and twists and turns despite all the struggles from the field for SFA. As we step aside, Trailblazers still holding on. 3-point edge in the second half.
If you're looking for the right school, look beyond the numbers. You'll find a university that's ready to welcome you with open arms. You'll find SFA.
Opportunity is always in bloom.
You'll get to perform research alongside faculty members.
And we never miss the chance to show off our lumberjack spirit!
SFA is committed to providing truly transformational experiences. Oh, and one more thing. Axe 'em, Jacks.
Citywide to countryside. Whatever you drive, wherever you go. Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading protection to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
To them, the whole world looks like an opportunity, one to be seized, built upon, and made better. for their sport and the people around it. To student athletes, every opportunity is a chance to change what could be and show the world what opportunity can do.
.47 to play from Las Vegas, our final game of the night as day 2 from WAC Vegas wraps up. First day of the men's bracket with one more quarterfinalist still to be determined. Tech has led most of the way, all but about a minute against Stephen F. Austin Trailblazers as the 11 seed, but were viewed to be only a slight underdog coming in with some injury concerns for SFA. A couple of key pieces out tonight and just getting back Day Hall from injury for the Lumberjacks. As a result, it's been a very tight game all the way. SFA staying in it with their defense, but have struggled mightily on the offensive end. Can Ware unlock them? No, short on a 3. Offensive board by Beaubrun, and a foul called. You just wonder, Said, if you're SFA, it's like a lid's been on the basket now for, feels like an hour.
It really has.
You can only play so much good defense, right?
Right. Well, that defense is what's carried them 13 points off of fast breaks, right? With the defense getting turnovers, someone's got to get hot and make some shots here.
Nigel Hawkins, tough ankle. How about the touch, Nigel Hawkins? And in a game where neither team has had a consistent amount of offensive rhythm, Said, could that be something that maybe changes?
It's going to have to change for one of these teams. They're going to have to see some buckets go in.
Corner 3, got it. Big shot, Jacob Nichols, the team's best three-point shooter at 50%.
That's a missed assignment right there. You know he's the top shooter. You can't allow him to be alone in the corner to get a look.
A foul off the ball as Hawkins looked to make a drive. So that goes on Frank Stain, and now all of a sudden Utah Tech has their big addition tonight. He's been about a 7.5 point a game, 3.5 rebound player, but more of a defensive player, nearly 40 steals to lead the team. He has to sit now with 4 fouls.
4 fouls. Early.
Underneath, the scoop pass comes up top. Jossel for 3. No, still a tough shooting night from beyond the arc for SFA. Now 1 of 12. Cameron Gooden on the shake and bake. Draws contact in the paint, going right at Beaubrun.
I thought they were going to get that on Beaubrun, but they get Hawkins for the check from behind.
Yeah, swipe from behind there. Yeah, third coming on Hawkins. So Hawkins and Day Hall, 2 most important pieces of the starting lineup for SFA with 3. While you have Stain already with 4, and then Leader and Christensen each with 3 for Utah Tech. But most importantly, Cameron Gooden, for all the choppiness flow-wise to this game, Said it's felt like Cameron Gooden has been in a very relaxed, calm pace from start to finish, the 5th-year senior.
He's done a nice job of reading the defense, kicking the ball out when he's needed to. Started out a little shaky with the turnovers early, but just kind of felt it out and figured some things out. Made some nice passes.
Utah Tech switches into his zone, almost daring SFA to try a 3 with how much they've struggled from outside. Jossel, extra pass. Hawkins on the drive. Hawkins! That's how you attack when you aren't making it from the outside. Nice move by Hawkins.
Really nice move. I'm wondering how Day Hall feels about his shot right now, because he's at the elbow there and turned down an elbow jumper.
Foul off the ball. If that's on Tizeno, yeah, not Hall, who was away from the ball there. So Tizeno's second, but on the next foul, Utah Tech will be shooting free throws for the final 13 minutes. Yeah, Day Hall, you look at the box score so far, only 2 field goal attempts so far for Hall. Again, coming off an injury, missed the last 2 games for SFA on defense right now. Pope on the spin move. Pope inside, rattles it down.
Got away with a little hook there, turning to the bucket. But a good job of clearing some space for himself and downhill.
Hawkins keeps attacking. Oh, how about the finish?
Well, if you're the Lumberjacks, you've got to do what you do best, which is buckle down and get some stops.
Gooden way off the mark. Hall corrals the board. SFA has been so much better attacking the basket tonight. 4 for 7 on 2-pointers in the second half so far. 0-5 from 3. Hall double teamed. Got it. What a finish. Day Hall starting to get unlocked.
It's a great post move. Defeats a double team and goes strong with the ball in his hands. It just feels like Utah Tech should be up by more in this game. With the struggles Stephen F. Austin has had on the offensive end, it feels like they should be up by more in this game.
But when you turn it over 12 times, give up 11 points off turnovers, it, in a sense, negates all those shooting issues, and that's exactly what's happening. 2-point game in a game flow where Utah Tech is led for all but about a minute and a half. Nigel Hawkins and SFA starting to get warm. Hawkins with 8, joined by Hall with 8. Hawkins, another drive. Tough fadeaway. Oh, yeah! Feeling it now. We're tied at 42.
Beautiful shot. Trailblazers need a bucket here.
They go to the senior leader. Gooden inside. No. Tizano with the box out. Lumberjacks love to run. Tizano blocking foul called. Couldn't finish. But as we hit a break, momentum is flipped all the way to the Lumberjack side. 6-0 run to tie the game at 42. Have hit their last 4 from the field with a good one brewing late on a Tuesday night here in Las Vegas. Coming down to the wire in Las Vegas, 11:45 to go in a tie game. 42 apiece between Stephen F. Austin and Utah Tech, our 6-11 matchup. opening up the WAC tournament and said when you're in need of some scoring, how about you go to a fifth-year senior who does not want his career to end. Nigel Hawkins has taken over lately.
8 points in the second half after a slow start. He's just done a nice job of reading what's happening. That right there was special. Fadeaway runner off the glass, but getting downhill. Reverse pivot, come around and shoot the nice soft touch. And listen, until that point, we were setting offensive basketball back sometime.
That's one way to put it.
you get your best player hot, one of your best players hot. It helps things out.
A combined 4 of 26 from 3 between the two teams. Crazy when you consider they're each in the top 3 in the conference in three-point shooting, each in the top 25 in the country in overall three-point efficiency. But it's one of those nights on a neutral venue, new for both teams.
I'm gonna give that again. Give credit to defense on that, making them work so hard around the floor that when you get to those shots, you're rushing a little bit. There's a little bit of hurry.
Tizeno 1 of 2 and a stumble in the paint. Ball falls right to Edmonds. Not there. Follow up. No. Another tip. It's Leader off the bench who gets the finish.
Just good work ethic underneath. Staying with it, finishing.
Rati Ware with the ball after Utah Tech ends the 7-0 SFA run. Lumberjacks in their second WAC tournament, lost in the first round a season ago in upset fashion. Ware, fade away. Oh, beautiful. Pretty touch from Rati Ware.
That mid-range game.
Little shoulder fake by Isaiah Pope. Utah Tech, their first ever visit to WAC Vegas. Third year of the 4-year D1 transition. They've struggled with turnovers tonight. That's a 13th turnover and then a foul in the backcourt taken by Edmonds. Edmonds has 3. And now each team will be over the limit for the final 10:32. And SFA needs somebody to inbound the ball. But the Lumberjacks, after realizing that the three-pointer just was not working, have gone to the interior. Since that happened, they've been 7 of 10 on 2-pointers all in the second half. Nearly stripped out to Ware. First time the Lumberjacks have led since for only a brief blip back in the first. Ware pops inside, Hall no. Rebounded by Gonzalez.
Felt like he was fouled. There's a lot of contact on that shot.
Nice finish. It's Pope who's been pure in that inside the paint, little hang in the air release. 9 points now for Isaiah Pope.
And under control. Avoided the charge.
Hawkins looked like he got tripped, and no, they say travel instead. Now Hawkins really frustrated. You can just tell his intensity has ratcheted up to another level in the second half. Not sure if that was just a trip over himself or just a stray foot that he hopped over, but either way, it's a turnover for SFA. A team that's been really good with ball control. That's only their 6th turnover tonight.
And they need to be good with the ball, right? Because they do go through those spurts of not being able to score. So you can't take chances away from yourself.
Trayvon Snoddy back into the game for Utah Tech as Leader drives. Leader, what a finish. Showing off the strength.
That's the wrong place to be without a dribble.
Hawkins comes out to bail his teammate, the 5th-year senior. On a step back, in and out. Rebound for Pope. That's exactly where the Trailblazers want SFA to take shots, right?
Travel.
Nice. Yep, Pope's calling for the travel. So even though Utah Tech, they've played so well getting into their desired defensive sets. They just have not been able to consolidate that too many times. That's now 14 turnovers tonight.
And really, I mean, had they taken advantage of all those opportunities, you're probably looking at a 10-point lead right now. Somewhere in that range, at least a 10-point lead.
Pope takes a seat for Utah Tech. Final game of the night from Las Vegas. One more quarterfinal spot still up for grabs after California Baptist narrowly beat Abilene Christian. Grand Canyon held off a late rally by 12th-seeded UT Arlington, and Tarleton picked up a win in their first ever D1 postseason game over UTRGV by 4 earlier. Utah Tech trying to do the same.
It's going to be a double foul on Beaubrun and Christensen.
That's 4 on Christensen. So even though you see the Stephen F. Austin bench not happy with the call, they thought that should have just been a straight foul on Christensen. Regardless, that's 4 on the big man for Utah Tech. And now 2 key bigs for the Trailblazers, each on the bench with 4. Kajus looks for some help, knocked up in the air, and it's taken right back. Foul now called on Utah Tech. Wow, Snoddy got the takeaway, and Latrell Jossel
just
stuck with it and snatched it right back. Yep.
Just snatched it right out of his hands.
And even though this is a Stephen F. Austin team that only has 2 seniors technically on the roster, it feels like an older group. They've been through some battles. A lot of these guys just a couple of years removed from being part of that 2020 team that was prepared to be in the NCAA tournament. They were the 1 seed in the Southland before COVID canceled the rest of the season. Won 22 games last year before going down in round 1 in an upset to Abilene Christian. And Jossel makes it a 1-point game. Makes both free throws as we go down to the wire. 8.5 to play. Utah Tech by 1. The winner gets Southern Utah, the 3 seed Thursday night. So will it be an all-Utah battle, or will one of the big guns coming over last year to the WAC make another run? Gooden. Awkward shot. Oh, it drops. Cameron Gooden. Nothing he can't do for Utah Tech. Jossel tries to answer. Nice driving kick. Corner 3. Connects. Matt Heyman off the bench. Tied at 50.
Big time shot by Matt Heyman. And a good find by Jossel, who's taken over here.
Here we go. Another game at WAC Vegas coming down to the wire. All knotted up from 50.
If you're looking for the right school,
Citywide to countryside. Whatever you drive, wherever you go. Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading protection to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
Great seats at a great price. Get them safer, simpler, and smarter with Ticket Smarter. A proud partner to the biggest names in live sports and events, including ESPN events and iHeart Radio. Ticket Smarter has seats for over 125,000 live events and 48 million tickets for sale. All backed with the Ticket Smarter 100% ticket guarantee. Thinking about your next great live event? Think smarter. Think Ticket Smarter. Get your tickets your way, guaranteed, at ticketsmarter.com.
Fly Provo and experience travel convenience. With new destinations continually being added, Provo Airport is becoming a travel alternative for those wanting all the conveniences of a large airport minus the hassle. Within minutes, you could be exploring Utah's great outdoors or flying across the country. Looking for your next trip? Come fly with us. Provo Airport welcomes you home.
Tie game with under 8 minutes to play. Latrell Jossel's had a nice night for Stephen F. Austin as we send it back to our reporter Kendra Sheehan with more on the redshirt sophomore.
Latrell Jossel has been a huge part of this Lumberjack program since transferring in back in 2021. Now, SFA was on a 10-game win streak last year heading into WAC Vegas before they were knocked out in the first round. And Jossel was honest with me. He said that left a bad taste in everyone's mouth, but it made this team work that much harder in the offseason. He said now they know the mentality they need to have coming into this tournament. Now, not only is Jossel a scoring threat, especially from downtown, he's taken it upon himself to be the energizer of this team. He said he wants to rally this team when they're down. And check this out, Ben. That's not the only talent he has. He's a great R&B singer. SFA Basketball posted a video to their Twitter of him singing Happy Birthday to a super fan. He's got a great set of vocals on him, Ben.
Wow, all right. Did not realize that. That's why Kendra Sheehan is the best. This is, by the way, 8 straight games Kendra Sheehan has worked. She'll be at it all week. She has done an outstanding job and great to be a part of the whole team again this year as a huge block comes inside. Hello, Dancel leader. Back with Sed Bonner, I'm Ben Wilson, and we've also been treated, Sed, to some tremendous games, both yesterday, women's first-round games, and tonight. Another good one on display with Gooden. High floater, a little strong. Save, but right to Kajust of Stephen F. Austin. Here is Jossel. No. Again, leader of the defense.
Just being there with his ability to block shots created that miss.
Jacob Nichols, nice move. Works right around Heyman. Utah Tech back in front.
And a missed opportunity for Jossel.
Kajust finds the open man. It's Armbruster underneath.
Good patience. Good job keeping your feet together, and they could have very easily traveled there, but stayed patient. Nice little up fake, played through the contact.
Six tie the game, 6 to play. With Gooden finding leader on the pull-up. A little strong. There's an offensive board. Finding an open Gooden for 3. Yes! First 3 of the night for Cameron Gooden. Utah Tech back in front. It allows the Trailblazer fans who've traveled from St. George, Utah to get into it. Jossel and SFA trying to work their way back. On the floater, not this time. Armbruster sticks with it and puts it in. Where would SFA be without the 28 bench points tonight, 10 of which have come from Armbruster?
And he's been really good. They're just Johnny on the spot. The ball comes loose off the rebound. Ready for it, puts it back in.
Armbruster now trying to pop the ball away from Gooden. Wide open, leader fakes the 3. On the drive, left the layup short. Armbruster the board. This is back-to-back 10-point games for Armbruster. Had not reached double digits all year until the season finale. Deep 3, short from Jossel, poked right to Nichols. And somebody's hurt. That's Bobrun hurt behind the play for Stephen F. Austin, so we'll get an official's timeout. We'll step aside as well. Woof, take a deep breath, get ready. Final 4:49 coming your way next. Utah Tech by 1 on ESPN+. Final 5 from Las Vegas, last game of the night. The Trailblazers are ready to go. They are very fired up. They can taste it, said. They won a first Division I postseason win. The traveling fans from nearby St. George, Utah, technically speaking, closest WAC institution from Las Vegas. This is a nice little drive from beautiful St. George to Vegas.
I've ridden
through Mesquite, maybe stop for some golf on your way. And
I've ridden the St. George Express
a
few times.
Utah Tech, third year of that 4-year transition to D1. They're trying to shut down one of the best mid-major teams of the last half decade or so, Stephen F. Austin. Trailblazer ball up 1. Leader stuck and finds his senior leader, Cameron Gooden. Knifes into the paint, floater up and in. Cameron Gooden can't be stopped. That's 20.
The elevation and soft touch. Beautiful shot by Gooden.
Ball poked away. Kajus can't control it. That's last off of leader of Utah Tech. Stays with SFA.
I mean to tell me coach thinks he's still not 100%? You see the elevation on that floater right there?
7th different 20 or more point game for Cameron Gooden this year. Every time SFA's made their run, Utah Tech's had the answer throughout. Eight on the shot clock for Kajust. Hawkins fakes the 3. Kajust another fake. 1 on the clock. Extra pass. Shot clock expires. And a violation as Utah Tech does not bite on those 3-point fakes. And that takes us to break. Utah Tech trying to get the dub as the 11 seed. Good one. Coming down the stretch. 3-point lead for the Trailblazers. We'll have the conclusion up next. The Lumberjack Band, used to deep March runs in the past. They've made the NCAA tournament 5 times since 2009. Making the trip from Nacogdoches, looking for a better result than their debut last year, crashing out to Abilene Christian in the quarterfinals. And in a dogfight right now with Utah Tech. SFA, who've had to battle shorthanded for the final few games of the season, have turned to their senior leaders tonight, even in an off shooting night. Just 40% from the field, 2 of 14 overall from 3. SFA, by forcing 14 turnovers, is only down by 3. And that's where the medal now set of Utah Tech really gets tested down the stretch.
Well, they've got to make smart decisions here. Don't be in too big a hurry to do anything. Because you know this team will get out and run in transition. Can't throw lazy passes.
Yeah, shot clock I don't think ever started, so we'll have to figure that out. 3:38 to go. That's something that Coach John Judkins told Kendra at halftime. It was just some of those soft cross-court passes that yeah, normally, let's say a regular season game against a middling defensive team, yeah, you get away with, but not SFA. They attack everything.
Absolutely. I think, to be honest with you, anyone left in the tournament at this point, right? Anyone left trying to move ahead is going to ratchet up the defense, but even more so with the Jacks. That's just the history they bring. They get in the passing lanes, they cut off angles, they do all those things. So you've got to be sharp, crisp with your passes.
We're good now. About 10 seconds had elapsed from the shot clock. So now after the inbounds, down to 12. Utah Tech ball. The double team comes on Gooden. Nice pass, but it's knocked away. Tezena with the last second cut into the passing lane.
Too late.
I had the window, but it closed. And Hawkins and SFA will try to avoid that temptation of the three ball. It's been a strength on the season. Not tonight, just 2 of 14. Hawkins weaves into the paint.
That's solid defense by the big man.
Back to Hawkins, 5 to go. Works on Christensen, playing with 4 fouls. Hawkins blocked, but a foul. Tanner Christensen, if that's on him, it's 5. And it is. The best shot blocker on the team, 4th best rebounder in the WAC. His night comes to an end, does not score. Does corral 6 boards, but
watch the hands down. See the hand down right there, and that's what got him in trouble. If he stayed vertical there, not only right there, if he stays vertical there, not only does he block the shot and go the other way, he's still playing tonight. But the hand being down is what caused that, and that's a smart play by Hawkins to rip through his arms to create that foul.
Christensen fouls out. Stain playing with 4 fouls for Utah Tech. Nobody yet to 4 for SFA. Utah Tech will be the double bonus on the next foul. But this is a shooting foul for Hawkins, who gets it to drop. 79% foul shooter, was the team's best free throw shooter last year. Playing in his 121st career game, but it wasn't until last year that he finally made his postseason debut. Goes 1 for 2. Hawkins started at UTEP. They didn't qualify for the Conference USA tournament his freshman year. Then he was hurt, missed the final stretch of the year as a sophomore. And he had the COVID year his first season with SFA. Finally made his debut last year. Hawkins defending the ball right now on Gooden. Almost got stuck in the air. Back to Gooden with 10 on the shot clock. 20 tonight for Cameron Gooden. 5 to go. Gooden all the way. What a finish.
He's been unstoppable.
On the slip. Can Hall answer? Playing through that bulky shoulder. Hall not on the touch. Rebounded by Nichols. And Cameron Gooden trying to will his Utah Tech Trailblazers to their first ever D1 postseason win. And Coach John Judkins takes time. Each team with 2 timeouts left now for the final 158.
Cam Gooden. I mean, watch the finish with the left hand right amongst the trees. Helps Slow to come over. I mean, he has been so special. 22 points on 8 of 15 shooting.
And heading into the week, Utah Tech had struggled mightily from the field. A pretty good offensive team. Top 130 in the country in the Ken Pomeroy overall efficiency ratings, but were just 38% from the field in their season finale against Grand Canyon at home last Friday. Were just 4 of 18 from 3, missed 10 free throws. Been a much crisper showing from the Trailblazers. Really the only issue has been the turnovers, right at about their season average of 15, which is 11th in the conference out of 13 teams.
They've just been locked in. And I think when your leader's out there and he's playing at a high level, which Cam Gooden is playing at a high level right now, it elevates everyone. You see everyone bringing something different. Stain has been awesome. Leader's been awesome. Like, These guys have played. Isaiah Pope has played a great game. And not only just in the scoring column, but on defense, challenging shots, just making it hard for the Lumberjacks to get any kind of rhythm offensively.
So a look at Dansell leader a moment ago. His teammate Frank Stain on the floor with 4 personals, while Derek Tizano and SFA try to get some stops down the stretch. 4-point game with the inbounds into Nichols. The 5th-year senior Cameron Gooden in his first career postseason game. The behind-the-back dribble, lost the ball. Here comes Tizano. Tizano got it. 2-point game, 1:40 to go.
Great concentration. And finished by Tizano.
Final 90 seconds after the 16th turnover of the night for Utah Tech. Gooden nearly knocked away from the ball. Can the Trailblazers hold their composure? Pope on the drive. Pope fouled. With 6 on the shot clock, 1:13 to play in the game. As Pope goes to the line, Utah Tech on top, 59-57.
And again, you're in good position. The offensive player is stumbling, and you're going to reach over to try to knock the ball down or to block the shot. Just stay vertical.
The 80% foul shooter misses the first. Ian Gooden, the 2 best free throw shooters this year. Free throw good. 60-57 as SFA brings the ball up, trying to avoid a second straight first-round exit at WAC Vegas. Team that has shown so much motivation throughout the season, playing shorthanded with 2 normal key contributors out. Jossel, oh, deep 3!
As I'm sitting here shaking my head, no, don't take that shot.
Hasn't been there all night, just 2 of 14. Jossel 0 for 6, but he sticks with it. Tie game at 60. Final 45 seconds from WAC Vegas. Gooden, step back 3, no! And a foul called, it's on SFA. Kyle Keller looks on in disbelief, the SFA head coach, and it's a 1-and-1 for Utah Tech.
Well, that's
so that means a 1-and-1 for Frank Stain, who's 65% from the line this year. And each team has 2 timeouts. Final 1-and-1 for Utah Tech. That foul called on Jossel. It's good. Massive development for Utah Tech as the bench looks on. Cool, calm, and collected at the line. Frank Stain has been superb off the bench. 11 points. SFA not calling a timeout. Down by 2. Hawkins to the far side. Where the drive, stuck at the baseline, finds a man. Oh, it's in! Day Hall. Tie game, 15 seconds left. The shot clock is dark. And Utah Tech takes time.
Can't take it. Can't take it. I mean, just great drive in deep, and then you find a slashing Day Hall who's able to finish. Excellent, excellent, excellent ball game.
As we take a look at our Hercules Tires strong moves of the game, Hercules Tires ride on our strength. Been a lot of strength shown off on this second half comeback by Stephen F. Austin. Have only led for 1 minute 55 seconds, but refused to go away. Big second half off the bench for Robbie Armbruster, 6 of 7 from the field.
Yeah, they've gotten contributions from a lot of different spots. And when you're not healthy, you know, Jalen Jackson Posey, Antwi Boasako, when you don't have players of that caliber playing, guys have to step up. They've done just that, but you look at Utah Tech, they've been outstanding and been able to really do a nice job. As you get a look at what the Lumberjacks endured in their last game out. A throttling by Utah Valley.
Inbounded to Gooden as we're back underway. Tie game, 10 seconds left. The fifth-year senior, Cameron Gooden. Gooden on the drive. Gooden stuck in the paint. Slips it to Stain. Three for the win. No! Tipped around. The shot is late, and we're going to overtime.
Free basketball, everyone.
Probably never will be again. But we now go to overtime. Stephen F. Austin has more experience in these settings. 2-1 in overtime games this year. Utah Tech lost their only overtime game of the season. Day Hall versus Dancel Leader. And we're underway. First overtime of WAC Vegas. And is that a travel or a timeout? Stephen F. Austin gets the timeout. And let's keep in mind that SFA saved 2 timeouts in regulation, so they get an extra one, meaning they have 3 for overtime, and that comes into play right away as it's a timeout for Stephen F. Austin. Let's go back to Kendra Sheehan.
Thanks, Ben. I got a chance to listen to Utah Tech's huddle. Head coach John Judkins said these first 2 minutes are huge. They need stops, but he said we can't reach, we can't foul, we're not trying to get steals. Stops, play smart. And then Frank Stain was very vocal. He said, guys, let's get our confidence up. We can do this. Let's make those big defensive plays. First 2 minutes, that's the focus, Ben.
Yeah, no doubt, Kendra. John Judkins, even though this is the first year leading a postseason eligible D1 team, said a guy who's won over 600 games has been in a lot of moments like this.
You win over 600 anythings, man. 600 basketball games. That is incredible. Great coach and has his guys keyed in. You got beat to the first loose ball of the overtime, not to start you on. You got beat to the first loose ball. Every single one matters, especially in this point.
John Judkins, 12 years as a head coach at Snow College, JUCO in Utah before coming over to what was then Dixie College in their final year as a JUCO. Only transitioned to D2 and becoming a full 4-year university in 2007. But did make the D2 National Tournament 9 times to Utah Tech before transferring and transitioning now to D1. Each team will be in the double bonus the entirety of overtime. 2 timeouts apiece for each side as we are now underway after the SFA timeout. Christensen is fouled out for Utah Tech. That's the only player gone from overtime. Hawkins, the floater. No. Hall fights for the board, ripping it down, but it's through the hands of Ware. Almost thrown away. Pope able to pick it up. Pope called for the charge.
I mean, he threw that pass so hard. Roddy Ware wasn't able to handle it. You got to be stationary. That's a tough call. Tough call. Good job of selling it by Jossel, but you got to be set.
Bad pass taken away. Leader all the way and one.
Wow. I mean, if you're going to stop it, stop it. It's a dangerous play. Leader was so quick and explosive. I don't think Roddy Ware had a chance to really foul him when he wanted to.
The senior from Suriname can't pay off the N1, but a huge play for Leader. Second-year starter for Utah Tech. He started a bunch last year, started all 31 games, only started 5 this year. But still very much in the rotation, has given the Trailblazers a 2-point lead. Hawkins stuck in the paint. Nice spin. Hall. Tough finish. Right through contact. Doesn't matter for Day Hall.
It's a good quick move to the baseline. And just absorb the contact off the window. That's a great shot.
Ninth tie of the night. Back to the redshirt fifth-year senior, Cameron Gooden. Corner three, Leader, got it! Oh, Dancel Leader.
Big three, set up by Cam Gooden. The beautiful pass, the penetration and kick. Shooter's got to be ready to do just that.
Tizeno the drive, looking to answer for SFA.
Got away with a walk. You hear double steps there when he hit. There wasn't a jump stop.
Jossel for three. Oh, big response.
Wow.
If it's Las Vegas and it's overtime, just throw everything out the window.
What else do you want right
now?
now?
67 apiece. Tied again. Winner to face Southern Utah Thursday night, the 3 seed in our quarterfinal. Isaiah Pope on the clear out. Works his way to the basket. Kicks. Wide open three. Stain. This one drops.
All of a sudden, the floodgates are opening.
What does SFA have? Hawkins blocked, but a foul. Hawkins trying to attack, going right at Jacob Nichols.
Nichols is in again. It seems to be the common theme with defense. You're going up, challenging a shot, stay vertical. Beautiful shot in the corner.
Hawkins makes the first free throw. As you see the dueling threes from both sides. Now Hawkins at the line, 79% foul shooter, but has been uncharacteristically iffy tonight. 2 for 5 after that make. 12 points tonight. Good on the second. One of 4 in double figures for Stephen F. Austin. Trying to battle through an uncharacteristically bad shooting night. Just 43% from the field, 4 of 16 from 3, but within 1 as we go inside 2 minutes. Foul called beyond the 3-point line on Heyman. So Leader, who just missed an and-1 free throw a second ago, he's set to come back to the line. Utah Tech on the year, 70% as a team, 7th in the conference. Both teams in the double bonus rest of the way. Nice stroke from Dancel Leader, who is a member of the Suriname youth national team. He's also an outstanding soccer player and swimmer growing up. Ended up going to a couple different JUCOs, Jacksonville College in Texas his freshman year, then Odessa as a sophomore before transferring in to St. George, Utah and Utah Tech. 1 for 2. 2-point game as Day Hall gets his 9th rebound. Tizeno finding his teammate Ware up top. Stop, pop, connect! Ware with the bucket. We're tied again at 71. And a timeout, Stephen F. Austin with 1:33 to play. 1 remaining for head coach Kyle Keller.
Love the patience on that possession. Didn't force anything. Threes have been raining lately, but Roddy Ware gets to the mid-range and knocks it down with a beautiful touch.
It's that in-between decision-making too, right, Sid, where you've struggled so much as a team shooting anywhere beyond really the interior key. But instead of settling, just forcing your way into the basket, making it obvious what you're going to do. You still have to trust yourself on those high-level, mid-range type shots, and that's exactly what Ware does.
Absolutely. He's got such a nice touch. That's a great read, great finish. I mean, these young men are making clutch shots. Clutch shots.
A lot of nervous fans in the building right now. Stephen F. Austin, it was their rallying cry all off season. We will not let what happened to us at the end of 2022 dictate our next season into 23 when they lost their final 2 games, first in WAC Vegas, then in the CBI first round. Meanwhile, Utah Tech looking for their first ever win and their first ever game in the postseason as a D1 school. Led by fifth-year senior Cameron Gooden, 22 points on 8 of 17 shooting. 5th leading scorer in the conference this year. Gooden skipping to leaders at a couple huge plays in overtime. The drive by Pope. Pope, tough shot, got it and one! Fearless. When you watch Isaiah Pope, just fearless. 12 points now for the 4th-year junior from Yorba Linda, California.
He just wanted it a little more.
Connects on the and one. Timeout taken by John Judkins and Utah Tech. Each team now down to its final timeout. Each team in the double bonus.
I mean, we're being treated to some big shots. Young men unafraid of the situation, just going strong to the bucket and not just settling, jacking up threes. I mean, it's impressive. It's impressive. And I don't think if Cesano doesn't come in from the backside, kind of clip his feet a little bit, there's no call made there.
Just incredible when you look at that lead time graphic. When's the last time you remember a game that was 1 minute to go in overtime? One team led for almost 35 minutes, the other for less than 2 minutes.
I mean, it's crazy.
An incredible display of resiliency for Stephen F. Austin,
but we've
far
seen
from their best on the offensive side.
Not only in this game, we've seen that in this tournament, right? It's just gut check time, and people are checking in.
All right, what do you want to look for if you're SFA on this set? Down 3, final minute 10.
You don't need a 3 here. Plenty of time. You start jacking up threes. You're going to set yourself back. You can get a 2.
Giselle, near corner, 3 for Hawkins. Air ball. Rebounded by Pope. 50 seconds to play. Utah Tech can take this down inside 30 seconds. Fans come to their feet inside Michelob Ultra Arena as Pope runs point. Pope off the shimmy shake. Nice pass. The finish is there. Frank Stain. It's a 5-point game.
Great setup by Pope. Now you've put yourself in a situation where you're going to need at least a 3.
3 short from Hall. Loose ball picked up by Utah Tech, and SFA has to foul. With 17.7 to go, the Trailblazer fans can feel it.
What an incredible effort.
And for Isaiah Pope, the rest of these Trailblazers who have been in the program for multiple years, been part of the transition from D2 to D1, trying to seal the deal, but Pope is short. Like, SFA still has 1 timeout. Not over by any means, 17.7 to go. Pope good on the second. Quickly into Hawkins. SFA desperately needs a 3. Hawkins drives, finds an open man. That's a nice cut, but Tizano puts it in. It's only 9.9 now left for SFA. Still down 2 possessions as they take their final timeout. It's that tough quandary, too, said, where you've struggled so much shooting threes, but at a certain point, you got to find one if you want to hope to still be in a one-possession game and fouling.
Absolutely. I think, again, with 1:03 left, taking that three, you didn't need it. You did not need it there. But it happened. You find yourself in this situation, you're going to have to get somebody to step up and make a big one. It's going to be contested. They will not want to foul, so it'll be contested under control. Someone's going to have to step up and make a big three. Jossel has hit a couple. They need someone to step up and make the shot.
And really what this comes down to more than anything, it's can Utah Tech execute on a couple of inbounds and on a couple of free throws, really. A team that has struggled with ball control, 17 turnovers tonight. SFA top 10 defensive turnover team in the country. So it feels pretty simple. You can execute an inbounds if you're Utah Tech and head coach John Judkins, you likely win the game with how little time is left, realistically.
Yeah. As well as if you get fouled, make your free throws. Just put them night-night. Put them to sleep.
Always easier said than done when we're talking postseason win-or-go-home basketball.
Pressure.
Now, what a night this is turning out to be for the WAC tournament debutantes. Tarleton with a win in their first ever D1 postseason game. Utah Tech has a chance to follow the Texans right up in front of a big crowd making the short drive from St. George, Utah. And they are ready to party late into the night, just past 11 o'clock here in Vegas. Final game of the night in the college basketball universe. Utah Tech up 4, set to inbounds. It's Pope to trigger it in. Finds Stain, and he's quickly grabbed. All things considered, that's a pretty good outcome for SFA if you aren't going to get the steal, because Stain only shoots 65%. Gooden and Pope, the two 80% shooters. A little surprised at all that Utah Tech wouldn't try to get Pope or Gooden as the central guys inbound. They ended up having Pope throw the inbound.
Well, you want to get the ball inbounds, first of all. I mean, it's moot point now, right? But you want to get it inbounds. You don't want to have a turnover not being able to get the ball inbounds, which plays right into the hands of the Jacks.
But Stain looks pretty calm at the line. Stain has been superb all night. 17 points for Stain. Make it 18. 6-point lead, 9 seconds to go, and SFA's out of timeouts. Need a miracle at this point. Tizano, the baseball pass, goes through everybody, and so they'll bring it all the way back down. That did not make contact with either a Trailblazer or a Lumberjack, and that's likely going to be the end of the line for SFA, who fought tooth and nail despite not having a good shooting night. But that shorthanded bench that was a concern with Jalen Jackson-Posey and Nana Antwi Boisiako injured will come back to haunt SFA in this game. And Day Hall, you have to give him a lot of credit, said playing clearly less than 100%. Has fought tooth and nail, 12 points, 9 boards as he knocks that out of bounds.
9 boards.
Inbounds into Nichols. One more foul. As Utah Tech will advance, it's going to be an all-Utah matchup Thursday night in the late game, and Utah Tech will come in with some confidence. They beat Southern Utah at home 86-79 before losing in the rematch on the road by 10, so they did split the regular season meeting. Utah Tech now 3 wins in their last 5 games after starting conference play just 3-11.
I mean, you can almost go ahead and tab it a rivalry. They're very close in proximity in Cedar City there.
Meanwhile, really nice hand for Nigel Hawkins and Rati Ware, the 2 veteran seniors. Hawkins, the 5th-year senior, Ware, the 6th-year senior, get a nice hand in their final games. Free throw is good. Inbounds comes in. One last heave. It's from Jossel. Nails it with under a second left, but that will do it. Celebration time for Utah Tech. The Trailblazers advance in their first ever D1 postseason game.
Fantastic effort. And you look at the bench players, and